Saturday afternoon, and time to drop in at the Sportsman's Club for another of the favorite sports stories specially selected for you by Grantland Rice. Yes, every Saturday is yarn spinning time down at the Sportsman's Club, where sports fans gather as guests of the Dean of American Sport Writers, Grantland Rice. Granny Rice, who has covered all the big sporting events of the past 30 years, has also made a hobby of collecting good sports stories, which he shares with his friends. You're all invited to these sessions of the Hot Stove League. So join us now as the fans meet Grantland Rice.
Anybody seen Granny?
Say, here he is.
Well, hi, Granny.
Say, Granny.
Well, hiya, Bill.
You changed your picks for the pennant since we asked you about it last time?
Yeah.
No, not a bit. The Cardinals should be a kick-in for the National.
Oh, what about the American League?
Well, the America's anybody's race, I think. Well, the Browns, the Red Sox, the White Sox all have pretty good chances.
The Yanks in the running, do you think?
Say, they might even be the toughest competitors, I can tell you that. It's the closest race in the history of baseball, with July just ahead.
Well, Granny, what's the yarn for today?
Yeah, what are you going to tell us today?
Well, today I've got a golf story for you, an all-time favorite by my old friend Charles E. Van Loan. Now, the name of the story is Little Poison Ivy, and it's about a brash young fella who learned his golf the hard way and turned the tables on a bunch of old duffers and a battered old silver cup, which transformed a whippersnapper into a hero. Now, according to old Donald McQuarrie, the pro at the country club, this is how it all happened.
The leopard cannot change his spots, and possibly he wouldn't if he could. This being the case, the next best thing is to overlook as many of his freckles as possible. Yesterday, I sat on the porch of the country club and listened while the dingbats said kind and complimentary things about young Ambrose Phipps, alias Little Poison Ivy, alias the Pest, alias Roughing the Red. 1 short week ago, the dingbats would have voted him a nuisance and a menace to society. Yesterday, they praised him to the skies.
Ay, golly, ain't that a pretty sight, Bilford? Ain't it great to see the kid lambast the ball?
It certainly is, Doc. Perfect form. That's what he's got. Perfect form.
And confidence. That's the big secret. You can see it in every move he makes. Confidence is a wonderful thing.
And youth. That's the most wonderful thing of all. It's his youth that makes him so flip. Got a lot to say for a kid, but somehow I always liked him for it.
Me too, doggone skin. Used to make me awful mad, that boy. Oh, well, I reckon I'm kind of cranky anyway. Yes, I always liked Ambrose.
Now, that was all rot, and I knew it. What's more, the dingbats knew it, too. A week ago, they would have marked his swaggering gait and would have said...
there he goes again. Showing off for the benefit of the female tea party.
The young whippersnapper.
Insufferable young rotter.
Pest.
Well, he still walks with the same swagger. And the way he freezes on his follow-through. You think he's posing for a statue of the perfect golfer. And he's just as cocky as ever. No, it isn't Ambrose who has changed. It is the dingbats who have decided to overlook his freckles. And no seeing nothing but good in him, whether it's there or no.
I guess he won't have any trouble getting games now, huh?
I should say not. He's dated up for a week ahead with Mormon and that bunch. A week ahead.
And he'll make them step. Well, here's to him, boys.
Yeah.
A redhead and a fighter. Drink her down. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
Now, as to the dingbats, if you don't know them, you have missed something rich and rare in the golfing line. There are 4 of them, all retired capitalists on the shady side of 60. They never worry about being after a game because they now have been on it. How they changed their mind about young Ambrose Phipps, alias Poison Ivy, is a story in itself. Going back to the beginning, this is how it happened.
Waiter, how about some service here?
Yes, sir, right away, sir.
Ours is a pretty spiffy kind of club. You cannot get in without the approval of the membership committee, and the club members do not leap at strangers with open arms. It was the early part of the season, on a Saturday that young Ambrose Phipps burst through the swinging doors of the club with a swagger and started making enemies.
Who wants the game, huh? Don't all speak at once, fellas.
Who's that fresh kid?
Oh, that's Ambrose Phipps, only son of old man Phipps.
How's about a game, boys?
He slipped in via the junior member clause.
The living, breathing proof that marriage is a failure. What's he want?
Hello. You gentlemen got a game?
Kindly remove your hand from my shoulder, young man.
That's all right, old top. It's clean. I just washed it. Clean as your shirt. No, cleaner. Well, how about it? You got your game fixed up?
We are waiting for a fourth man.
Fourth man, huh? Okay, fellas. If he doesn't turn up, you know me.
Insufferable young rotter.
He's a pest.
Yes, but he'll never miss anything by being too bashful to ask for it.
How's about a game, fellas? Any chance?
He's asking everybody.
Hey, how's about a game?
No, thanks. We have a foursome.
Oh, is that so? How about you there, Grandpa?
No, thanks.
Not today, kid. Not today.
He certainly doesn't know when the answer's no.
The spoiled brat ought to have more respect. If he was my son, I'd knock it into him.
Never liked old man Phipps anyway. Now I know why.
There he goes. I guess he realizes now it's no use.
Hey, who's the boss here? Who's the big finger? Now, don't all speak at once, boys.
Is there anything I can do for you, sir? I am Harson, a member of the Greens Committee.
My name's Phipps, Ambrose Phipps.
So I understand.
I'm a junior member here, registered and all that, and I want to get a game this afternoon. So far, I haven't had any luck. Now, how's about you fixing me up, old bean?
Well, usually all games are made up. Saturday's a bad day, you know. Unless your match is arranged beforehand.
Is that so? Nice clubby spirit you have here. You make a fella feel so much at home.
So we notice.
How about that fourth of yours, Pop? If he isn't here, well, what's the matter with me?
Oh, go away.
Possibly there's nothing the matter with you, but if you're a beginner...
Oh, you don't need to be afraid of my game. I'll be easy picking.
So that isn't the point.
Yeah? Well, what is the point?
Our kind of game would be too fast for you.
Well, what of it? How am I ever going to learn if I never play with anybody better than I am? Don't you take any interest in young blood, or is this a closed corporation run for the benefit of a lot of old fossils playing hooky from the boneyard?
Oh, run away, little boy, and sell your paper.
Don't get mad, cutie. First thing you know, you'll be busting something in that bone meal of yours, and you won't know anything.
Why, you young whippersnapper.
I wish I could say the same for you. Gee, what a picnic a hermit crab must have in this place.
Now, look, Mr. Phipps.
If you don't like it, you don't have to stay a minute.
That's mighty sweet of you. But you see, I made up my mind to learn this fool game if it takes all summer.
Now, please, Mr. Phipps, according to our bylaws...
I know. According to your bylaws, Harson, I don't exist. Well, don't worry. I won't get in your hair anymore. Maybe I can hire that sour old Scotsman Macquarie to go around with me. He's not what you might call a cheerful companion, but at that, he's got something on you. He's human anyway.
If that pup was mine, I'd drown him. Doggone if I wouldn't.
Bad news travels fast. Those who had met Ambrose warned those who hadn't. Whenever the redhead appeared in the lounging room, there was a startling drop in temperature.
There he goes, men.
Just pretend you don't see him.
That's the best way to handle that pest.
Little poison ivy.
So after a while, Ambrose gave up in disgust and devoted himself to the serious business of learning the royal and ancient game of golf. I played with him every day, for a fee, of course. And toward the end of the month, I had to admit, the boy had the makings of a star golfer.
Ambrose, a star golfer? Oh, impossible, Mac.
Well, as the summer drew to a close, the annual team matches began, and the club members forgot Ambrose and all else in their anxiety over the fate of the Edward B. Wimper's trophy. The dingbats were particularly concerned.
Go ahead and shoot, Doc. There's no one on the fairway.
No, I thought I saw somebody. Well, all right. Got to remember to hold my shoulder down.
Topped it, Doc.
I can't seem to concentrate on my game today, Tom. Those matches have me worried.
What's there to worry about, Doc? This year we get permanent possession of the cup.
Maybe so. But I hear the Park Country Club has a pretty strong team.
Bah, our team is just as strong.
Maybe so, Tom. But they're number one. This McNeath fella, he's a good man.
Anderson is just as good.
Well, maybe so.
No maybes about it. I tell you, Doc, this year we're going to get permanent possession of the trophy or...
Or what?
Or I'm through with the game for life. If we lose this year, I'll throw away my clubs and take up an old man's game. Chess.
But Park did have a strong team. They fought our club neck and neck through the entire period of competition. And finally, there was one match left to be played. The winner to get permanent possession of that Wimpers Cup. On Friday afternoon, Park came to our links, bringing a gallery with him. 4 of our team members were on hand to welcome the enemy. And Harrison, being a member of the Greens Committee, offered the opponents the customary hospitality.
Have a drink, McNeith.
Thanks, but just now we're drinking water. After the match, you can fill the cup with anything you like, and we'll allow you one drink out of it before we take it home with us.
Well, that's telling them, McNeith.
By the way, where's Anderson?
He hasn't shown up yet. He should be here any minute.
Yeah, well, Anderson and I'll go last anyway. You might as well get started, eh?
Any time you say, Mr. McNeith. We're ready.
All right, men. You start off.
Yeah. It's not like Anderson to be late, Mac. He should have been here an hour ago.
Aye, something's given on, no doubt, Mr. Harrison.
First match, Bennett and Brewell.
Are you sure they said at his house that he left, Mac?
Aye, that's what his wife said when I talked to her.
Well, I'm going into the clubhouse, Harrison. Let me know when Anderson gets here, will you?
Yeah, sure. I'll call you, McNeith.
Second match, Lounsbury and Baker.
Say, Harrison, what's happened to Anderson?
I don't know, Doc. He should be here any minute.
Somebody said they saw him in town getting on train.
Anderson wouldn't do a thing like that, Mr. Pinkerton.
No, I guess not, but that's what they're saying, I think.
Third match, Maxwell and Cooper. Say, I don't like this, Tom. I don't like this at all. Anderson should have been here hours ago. Something must have happened to him.
Of all times to show up late. That Anderson. Doesn't he know? Didn't somebody tell him? What's keeping him?
Well, come on, Tom. Let's go to the clubhouse and find out. I'm getting worried. Fourth match, Jordan and Norman.
Any news yet, Harrison?
No, not yet, Doc.
Well, I was just up in the clubroom. McNeith is getting impatient. We can't hold out on him much longer. We'll have to forfeit the match.
I don't know what to do, Doc. I can't understand it.
Maybe we ought to send out a searching party.
Harrison! Right there, Mr. Belford.
Look at Bilford. He's as white as a sheet.
Something must have happened.
Well, it's all over.
What's all over? Have you heard from Anderson?
Yes. Bad news. We just got a message. Anderson blew a tire at the city limits. His car turned over on him, and he broke his leg.
A bombshell exploding under our noses could have created more consternation. There we were, with 4 matches underway, our best man crippled and up against the proposition, providing an opponent for McNeith, the most dangerous player on the Park team.
Well, we'll have to do something, but what?
No good sending word to poor old Baker. He's the team captain, of course, but he can't do anything about it. Besides, he's already playing his match, and this would upset him terribly. Is there anyone here who can give McNeith a run for his money?
Not unless you want to try it, Harrison.
No, he can give me strokes. Well, we might as well forfeit 1 match and put it up to the boys to win 3 out of 4.
Yes, I guess so.
If you only had one more good man. Just one more good man.
You have? You've overlooked young Phipps.
That kid?
Little Poison Ivy.
Oh, nonsense.
Aye, that kid. Call it nonsense if you like. But he was under 80 twice yesterday. This morning he shot a 77 with 2 missed putts to length of your arm. He's on top of his game now and going strong. If he'll shoot back to his morning round, he'll give Mr. McNeith a battle. But of course, the lad has never been in competition, so he'll have to chance his nerves.
Ambrose? I never should have thought of him.
Of course you wouldn't, Mr. Harrison. You've never played with him. Never seen him play.
But he's such a little pest.
Aye, you're right there, Mr. Belford. And granting you that, he's still the best bet you have. He's in the clubhouse now, dressed and ready to start once the crowd is out of the way.
And he really shot a 77 this morning?
With 2 missed putts. Wee ones.
Well, how about it, men? Shall we?
You know where I stand, Harrison. Personally, I'll have nothing to do with it.
Nor I. Besides, I'm against it.
But if he can win the match for us, as Mac here suggests...
I'm still against it.
So am I. That young whippersnapper has caused us enough trouble.
Well, I guess that leaves it up to me. All right, Mac. Let's go find your protégé and see if he likes us better than we like him.
We found the little Red Hope banging the balls around on the billiard table, carefree as a scarlet tanager.
Young man, your country calls you.
I'm underage. Don't bother me. This is a tough shot.
Well, then, your club calls you.
My club, eh? Anytime this club calls me, I'm stone deaf.
Listen to me a minute, Phipps. This is the day of the big tea match, and we're up against it hard. Anderson turned his car over on the way out and broke his leg. Now, we want you to take his place.
Anderson? Ain't that the squarehead who calls me Little Poison Ivy? Only his leg, eh? Tough luck.
Yes, you bet it is. Tough luck for all of us, because if we can't dig up a man strong enough to take Anderson's place, well, we'll have to forfeit that particular match to McNeese.
Hell, that's tough.
Oh, now, look, we'd set our hearts on winning this time, because it would give us permanent possession of the team trophy that we've been shooting at for 20 years.
Let your voice fall right there. Trophies are nothing in my young life. This club is nothing in my young life. Everybody here's treated me worse than a yellow dog. Go ahead and take your medicine, and I hope they lick you and make you like it.
All right. Have it your own way. Perhaps it was a mistake to mention McNeith's name.
What do you mean, a mistake?
Well, you must know McNeith by reputation. He's one of the best golfers in the state, and a tough proposition to beat. He's their number one, their star player. He shoots pretty close to par all the time.
What's that got to do with me?
Why, nothing. Only...
Only what?
Well, they all said you wouldn't want to go up against such a strong player.
Who said that?
Oh, everybody. Yes, it was a mistake to mention his name. I'm frank enough to say that I wouldn't tackle him without a handicap. McNeith has ice in his veins.
Look here, you're off on the wrong foot entirely. You're barking up the wrong tree. It's not because I'm afraid of this McNeith or anybody else. It's just that I don't feel that this club ought to ask a favor of me.
A favor? Why, man alive, it's a compliment to stick you in at number one. The biggest compliment we can pay you.
Well, if you look at it in that light...
I most certainly do. But if you'd rather not meet McNeith...
Look here, Harson. You don't really think I'm yellow, do you?
If you are, you're the first redhead that ever got his color scheme mixed.
Listen, I'll tell you this much. I don't care the snap of my fingers for your ratty old cup. I even care less for the members of this club. But I can't stand to have anyone think that I'm not game. I've stuck around here for nearly 5 months just because I wouldn't let a lot of old fossils drive me out and make me quit. 5 months without a friend in this place. If I'm anything at all, I'm game to prove it to you by playing this bird.
Good boy. Shake, Ambrose.
Okay, lead me to this McNeith. Oh, I suppose we ought to be introduced, eh? Or has he been told that I'm the country club leper?
'Twas a sorely disappointed gallery that welcomed the substitute. The dingbats held a lodge of sorrow in the shade of the caddy house and mournfully estimated their losses.
I'm going to be out 500 on this match.
600 for me.
10.
10 what?
10 cases of scotch. 20 years old and bottled in bond.
McNeith was first on the tee. They took the kid aside, and I gave him some last-minute pointers.
Say, did you hear, Mac? They're betting against me 2-1. I'd like to grab some of that.
Then be foolish. You'll have enough on your mind without making bets. For pity's sake, remember what I told you. Slow back. Don't press. Keep your head down and count 3 before you look up. Hit them like you did this morning, and you have a grand chance to win. Okay. There's McNeith teeing off.
Stand, please.
Mighty pretty, McNeith. Hope I do as well.
You can. You'll keep your full mouth shut, your eye on the ball. Okay, get on the tee. Remember what I said.
Oh, he topped it.
And by the sweet and suffering...
Guess I topped it, Doc.
You boggled the swim, you fair jumped at the ball, and you looked up to see where it went before you hit.
So I did. And I see that as far as the dingbats are concerned, this match is a washout.
No use following a bad match when you can see a good one, people. Bennett and Brule are just driving off at tangent.
Yeah, let's go. I knew the redhead was a fizzle, a false alarm.
Can't understand why Harson asked him to play. Might just as well put me in there against McNeith. Fools.
Well, everybody seems to be deserting me, Mac.
And didn't mind them, kid. You'll do better without the gallery.
And all because I slopped that drive. You watch me, Max. I'll have that audience back again. You see if I don't. I'll bet you I won't look up on another shot all day.
If you do, I'll never play again as long as you live.
That's a promise, Mac. Looks like one down, eh? Watch me on the next hole.
We didn't have the gallery again until the 17th hole. Later on, we found out what happened. The first 4 matches ended up 2 apiece, and the Dingbats, as well as the other club members, gave up the cup for good.
Well, that settles it, Doc. No need to bother about that other match.
Yeah.
Oh, if Anderson was so set on breaking his leg, why didn't he wait till tomorrow to do it?
And he could have busted them both and nobody would have said a word. Well, might as well pay those bets, I reckon.
Yes, might as well.
Say, isn't that McNeath and the kid on the 16th fairway?
Huh?
Well, it is, by golly. Well, do you reckon they're playing out the bye holes just for fun? Or what?
Oh, it can't be anything else. The boy couldn't have carried him that far.
Wait a minute. Look, here comes Harson. Running, too.
Say, Doc.
Yeah?
Yes?
Yeah?
If you want to see some regular golf, you better catch the end of this match. And bring the gang with you. I'm going over to the clubhouse to put in a call.
And the finish of the match, isn't it over? You don't mean they're still playing?
Still playing is right. They're all square on the 15th.
The news ran through the gallery like a flash of light. It just couldn't be true, they were all saying. But I guess nobody could resist finding out what it was all about. So by the time we reached the 17th, we had an augmented gallery. There was even a troop of caddies who had received the word by some mysterious wireless.
Say, is it really true, Mac? Ambrose, I mean the kid and McNeath, they're all square?
Aye, there they are, Mr. Pinkinson. The kid's going all right. He's counting 3 before he looks up, every time.
But then he's really been shooting good golf?
Aye, grand golf. They both have. It's a ding-dong match and just a question who'll crack first. You dingbats ought to have more faith in Mr. Phipps. It's up to him now to win the cup.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Oh, say, come on, Bradshaw, they're teeing off.
Aye, the dingbats certainly changed their tune. They were all rooting for Ambrose now. Not that I blame them. That was certainly an exhibition if I ever saw one in my 30 years of golf. But there was still trouble ahead. Our 18th is par 4, a blind drive and an iron pitch to the green. The ball must go absolutely straight and high enough to carry the top of the hill. Ambrose was the first to drive.
Look at that ball, the speed of a bullet.
Perfect line.
It's going to skim the crest of the hill.
Hit the incline.
Oh, it's kicked to the left.
It's in the sand trap.
Hard luck, Phipps.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, McNeath. I like to play my second shot from over there.
Yeah? You're welcome to it.
McNeath has the advantage.
Stand, please. McNeath is teeing off.
Well, no man hit a longer ball at a more opportune time. Guess that gives McNeath the match.
Phipps may have stopped short of the trap.
Not a chance. He'll be in up to his neck.
That's tough. Very tough.
Sure enough, when we reached the summit, there was the caddy, a mournful statue on the edge of the sand trap. The crowd halted at proper distance, and Ambrose and McNeath went forward alone.
Doesn't look so good, does it, man?
I guess not, Mr. Pinkinson. 6 feet from the edge, 20 feet away from the wall, lying on top of the sand, too.
Can't get out of that one.
An iron with a little loft to it. A clean shot. A good third, and he might get a 4 yet. It's just possible.
Yeah, but not probable. What on earth's he waiting for?
Let's go over and take a look.
Well, he's sitting down now. Well, this is a fine time to start rolling a cigarette.
Leave the boy alone. Don't say anything to him. He's doing all right.
Hiya, Mac. Come on over. You too, my little dingbats.
He means us.
Looking it over, eh?
Yep. You don't mind if I study this a bit, do you, McNeath?
Take your time.
Because I wouldn't want to use the wrong club here. How the whole boys stand on this cup thing, Pinkinson?
All even. 2 matches to 2.
Yeah, that seems to be up to me. All right. See if we can find ourselves a good club. Give me that wood over there, Caddy. What? That's right. That one.
A wooden club out of a trap. Suicide, sheer suicide.
Well, what's the matter with him? An iron might give him a fighting chance to have the hole, but a wood.
Shh. Yon's a baffy. I made it for him.
A what?
A baffy.
What in blazes is a baffy?
It is a kind of exaggerated bulldog spoon. You might almost call it a wooden mashie with a carving sole on it. It's great for distance.
But it's a wood. Since when does one use a wood in a sand trap?
The lie is good. The wind's behind him. If he can only hit it clean. Clean. Oh, you little red devil. Keep your head down. Keep your head down and hit it clean.
Stand, please.
Oh. And he picked it up as clean as a whistle, and he's on the green! He's on the green!
Well, it was that shot that clinched the match. McNeith's second shot was an easy pitch to the green, but he lingered too long over it, and the blade of his mashie caught the turf. He overshot the green and had to use a number 7 for his third, but the ball rolled 30 feet beyond the pin. He tried hard for the long putt, but missed it. Ambrose's recovery had shaken the veteran to the sole of his shoes. Finally, he just picked up the ball and gave up.
Well done, Phipps. Congratulations.
Thanks. Guess I got to judge you with that Baffy shot. Certainly a dandy club in a pinch. You better let Macquarie make you one.
It wasn't the club, Phipps. It was just burglar's luck. You wouldn't do it again in 1,000 years.
Maybe not. But when you get back to the Park Country Club, you tell all the dear chappies there that I got away with it once. Got away with it the one time it counted.
At this point, the gallery closed in and overwhelmed young Mr. Phipps.
Wonderful.
Inside of a minute, he heard more pleasant things about himself than had come to his ears in a lifetime. He did not dispute a single statement that was made. For once in his life, he agreed with everyone.
How about joining us tomorrow, Phipps?
Later, they gave him a dinner, a sort of stag celebration, with the Edward B. Wimper's cup in the middle of the table. He was asked to favor the gathering with a few brief remarks, which he did. Brief and to the point.
Gentlemen, 10 cups are nothing in my young life. The club spirit is nothing in my young life. But gameness is everything.
That's it, Phipps, just like his father.
And the cheering was led by the dingbats. So you see, there have been no change in Ambrose. He is the same as ever. He'll never change. It's the dingbats are changed. Of course, in a way you might say, I also was the winner. I have booked so many orders for the Bappies, I'm now endeavoring to secure the services of a first-class club maker.
And fellas, that was Charles E. Van Loan's story, Little Poison Ivy. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Well, we sure did, Granny.
And don't forget to be on hand next time for a top-notch tennis story entitled Defending Champion. Well, see you all later, fellas. So long, Bill. So long,
Granny.
Jack. So long, Henry.
This has been another visit to the Sportsman's Club for a favorite sports story of Grantland Rice. Today's story, Little Poison Ivy, was by Charles E. Van Loan and was dramatized for radio by Ben Kagan. Our narrator was Santos Ortega. Others in the cast were Jim Bowles, Cameron Prudhomme, James Van Dyke, Alan Bunce, Cameron Andrews, and Ed Begley. George Crook was at the organ, and Grantland Rice was here in person. The production was under the direction of Herbert Rice. Many people on the home front remember the really tremendous rise in prices that took place during the last war. Now, it's true that prices have risen in this war, too, but the rise has been less than half that of the last World War. And as you know, the main reason why we've been able to achieve this greater degree of control over prices in this present war is the home front pledge, the pledge taken and kept by the people of America to pay no more than ceiling prices. Remember, we'll be back next Saturday at the Sportsman's Club with another sports story selected by Grantland Rice. This is the National Broadcasting Company.